The legendary goat barn container is our daughter Adali's dream of rehabbing a shipping container into kidding stalls, feed storage, and a milking room. We've had the container delivered, re-fenced our property around it, cut out and installed multiple windows and doors, framed the inside, ran electrical, added spray foam insulation, designed the kidding stalls, built the metal field fencing, welcomed 7 baby goats into the world, and now we're trying to put the finishing touches on the milking room.
Back in the goat barn, Johnson and our friends are outside and they're going to make a cabinet to cover up all the batteries in the milk room. Let's go check out what they're making.
In order to use as little space as possible building this cabinet, our friend Cullen is using pocket screws to attach the sides directly to the back wall. This will allow us to enclose the power center and still have room for the refrigerator. We're making sure to allow space in the top for venting the solar gear, and we need to build a shelf for the fridge, but we'll explain that in a minute. Alright, so yesterday our friends Colin and Brittany were here and they helped us build this cabinet area. We were joking that this whole wall was measured within an inch of its life. We were like measuring how big the door would be, and then like the actual size of all these components and how we would enclose them, and then the fridge, which has to also fit over here. And then when we got it in here, we realized that with the milking stand, we would have to raise it up so that when the door swings out, it doesn't hit the milking stand. Anyway, they helped us and we got almost all this done yesterday. So the first thing we need to do this morning is we need to switch the hinges on the refrigerator because we want the door to open towards the wall and not the opposite way. And then we'll get it up in here, and then we got to build the door for this and put the hinges on so that we can close all this up. And we got to put in the touch display so that that's on the outside so we can monitor the system without having to actually open the power closet.
So in order to switch the hinges on the fridge, we just need a few simple tools, socket set, and a couple screwdrivers, and we should be able to do this really fast, right, babe? Step 1, remove the hinge cover with a screwdriver. Check. Step 2, loosen the top hinge screw using a hex head screwdriver. What the heck is a hex head?
Socket.
Oh, well, it says hex head screwdriver. It doesn't say socket. Wait, what's a hex head screwdriver?
It's listen, you know what it is?
What?
It's a screwdriver with a socket attached. 10 millimeter, right?
It says you're going to be using a 10 and an 8. Everything's fine, babe. We don't have to tape it. It says after you do that, adjust the door or put a spacer in between and then tighten the screws. Affix the refrigerator. Why would nobody says affix? And then you take off the middle hinge, which is right above the fridge door. We had a 45 degree.
Your golden grams are on the floor.
One golden gram. Way too cold.
Why can't we just put in the fridge like it came?
Because it can't have the door shut. You'll thank me later. I was thinking maybe we could also switch the swing of the door, the fridge that's behind the shed.
Never again.
It wasn't that bad.
It was terrible. Okay, door's coming. Pull it open.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's so tall. Look at it.
Yeah. It's working.
Yeah, did you like feel it?
I heard it.
Yeah.
How much power is it using?
Give it a minute. It's waking up. 60 watts. That's not bad. That's really not much at all. Good. We're close. It's up, it's running, but it's real close to the edge of our shelf. And that was our fault because we measured for the feet.
And didn't take into consideration
Ventilation. We should have brought it out a little bit. So we were already gonna add something else here because the foot is real close, the front foot. But this will also allow us to slide it out and give it a little bit of space behind so that when the motor runs, it can vent out. Yeah, so we're just gonna add a 2x4 spacer on the front of this shelf here. And that'll actually make it look a little cleaner and more finished, but it'll also let us slide this out and not feel like it's gonna fall off.
that right there is close to 2 inches. Yep. Look good?
Yeah, that's better.
It works! Yo, fridge!
Guys, the weather sucks. It's like hailing, it's windy, and it's almost snowing and raining. We really need to cut the door for this and get it installed, but it's too cold and nasty. So we're thinking about going to the coffee shop.
I vote yes.
Okay, it is time to put the finishing touches on the milk room. We've got cabinet hardware, we've got a door facing that we need to put on that power cabinet, so that's what we've been working on this morning. Cutting this, putting the hinges on, getting that all installed, hopefully getting it painted. We really need to get all of our tools out of the milk room so Adali can actually use it. And we just keep coming back and doing these little projects. So the goal is get all this little stuff cleared up so that she can officially start using it as a milk room. All right, so the girls had to run into town. I've got a few minutes here to keep working on the mini split. We put the inside unit in, we pulled the stuff through the wall, connected the communication cables. So now I'm working on running the power from inside to the shut-off breaker on the outside here, and that'll go into the mini split. Also, before I do any of the gas lines or anything like that, I definitely want to mount the outside unit down into the concrete pad to make sure it doesn't go anywhere because those flare fittings are pretty fragile. We don't want to be moving the unit once we get it connected. So I've got it where I want it. I've marked my holes. I'm going to start drilling and get this thing bolted down. Did we do it?
You do the display. Kind of like that as a handle, right?
It's been a long road. We finally have this area finished up. We've got the cabinet around the power built. We've got the handle. We've got our touchscreen mounted for the system. And then we added a little shelf here, and so it's all ready, and we even have room for an extra battery if we want it. So we have a few other little things to do in here, but the main thing I'm going to be working on today is running the gas lines for the mini split so we can get it on and get it tested. We still have enough power in this battery, and then we haven't charged it yet to run the mini split for a little bit. So that's the goal today, is to connect the gas lines, do the vacuum pump thing, and get it up and running so we can see if it works. Okay, I was gonna do the gas lines, but these other cables, I don't want it to get in the way while we're doing that. I don't want to knock anything loose, so we're gonna tie up all of this is the power from the main power system, and we have the communication cable. It's coming out of the bundle. We're gonna tie all these to the wall, get them safe and protected, and then we'll do the gas lines. All these wrenches are not the right thing. In case you're wondering, yes, we did torque the flare nuts down with wrenches on the gas lines, just forgot to record that step.
Hey friends, you may have noticed a new join button here on our YouTube channel. We quietly launched memberships on YouTube a few weeks ago, and now we're ready to tell you about it.
Now, supporting our channel directly through YouTube isn't something we've done before because we run our own Tiny Shiny Homies membership on our website. There we can communicate better, give better perks like custom stickers, name-themed videos, and access to certain products.
We love our homies and nothing there is going to change, but we know that not everybody likes to sign up for something new.
So we're adding a very simple support plan through YouTube for $4.99 a month. You'll get access to videos early via members-only posts, special avatars that change depending on how long you've been a supporter, and my favorite feature, custom emojis. We're launching with a dino emoji, a doodle emoji, a Pyrenees emoji, and a goat emoji. And as more people sign up, YouTube will let us add more emojis. A $5 a month Homies membership is always going to get you more stuff.
Like what?
Well, you get a weekend update video every weekend and access to your recipe collection.
It's true.
But if you've been looking for a simpler way to support us, just click the join button to get started.
It's easy.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave a comment down below with all the emojis in it. I want you to tell me which one is your favorite.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the build. All right, so we have mounted the mini split. We've tied up all the electrical lines. We've connected the gas lines and tied those up as well, so they shouldn't go anywhere. So the next step is this whole sort of dance with this vacuum and pressure gauge manifold. I'm not going to walk you through the details of this. There's a great video from a channel called Underdone, which I'll link to in the description. I think I've watched this video like 50 times during all my other mini split installs. Super entertaining, super informative. At this point though, what I'm doing is I'm drawing a vacuum on these lines to make sure that I don't have any leaks. So it's step one of making sure I don't. So right now on the blue one you can see I have a negative pressure, which is what I'm looking for. I do this for 15 minutes and then I'm going to close that valve, turn off the pump, take a picture of this. Okay, so far so good. Our vacuum negative pressure has held, so the next step is we're going to release just a little bit of the refrigerant into the system and then close it. It's going to take that negative pressure reading, go positive, and do the same thing and wait for 5 or 10 minutes, take a picture of it, make sure that it doesn't drop back down over time so that we know we don't have a leak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that's our reading. We're going to give it 5 minutes. We're going to see if it holds. Our pressure has held in the manifold gauge, so we're going to release the charge from this unit into the inside unit, and it should hold its pressure and it should keep all the gas there, and we should be good to go. So let's do it. Thanks to Mr. Dunn, I do know that you need to wear gloves during this step or else you might get some refrigerant on your hands, so thank you, sir. All right, we're gonna put the disconnect back in, go inside, turn it on, see if it works. Ready? Alright, that's a good sign. Oh, it's a fancy new remote. Hold on, let's see. It's ramping up. I'm watching the AC loads on the system too. like nothing right now. It's just the fan. So the compressor hasn't kicked on yet. I don't know. Hopefully it might be too cold in here, honestly. I wonder if I can get it, because it only goes down to 61. Oh, there it is. There it is. Hi. That's why mini splits are so efficient, is they don't just like immediately kick it on. It's like they gotta ramp up a little bit, and they're very like cautious about how much power they use. Oh, that's really cold. Woo!
Oh wow, nice.
Woo! That's not bad. 400 watts. I thought it would use more than that. We need to get those solar panels up so we can actually use this thing on a regular basis. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. All right, so what we also want to do is we want to try the heating too. I don't understand the icons. They changed them all. Let's try this. All right, heat mode is working too. Heat's a really good test because it actually puts more pressure on those gas lines and it uses a little more power. So we're using 700 watts. So yeah, I think we've had a successful mini split install. Go us. Yay! All right, I think we're good. I'm gonna add a few more clips to the side of the building to just kind of tie up a few of these cables and wires and hoses and everything, and then we're gonna get all this mess cleaned up because I have about 4 million tools out here. So let's get that cleaned up and move to the next step. The last thing we're doing over here is there's space on either side of the mini split we want to protect. So we've got a couple of stock tanks up by the chicken garden. So we're going to bring in some dirt, level that area, put them basically on each side so that the dogs can't run behind, catch their foot on a hose or a cable or something and break it, which I could totally see happening. When they get playing, they're crazy. So here's our problem. We really need this to slide all the way up against that, which means we don't have quite enough dirt. So we're gonna level this out with the pad right here. Hopefully that'll work. Gotta anticipate the dog's every move.
Delicious.
Hey! Now we have all the electric hooked up. I'm a little bummed that we can't charge the batteries yet because we haven't built our awning. So I had an idea. Actually, our friends are staying with us and they had an idea. What if we just threw up a couple of panels on the top of the shipping container? Now, we don't want to screw down into the top of it and create a potential leak, but we might have a way to do it. The problem is I only have enough mounts for 2 panels, and it's kind of right on the edge of creating enough voltage for it to actually work, because we're going to have 12 panels up here eventually, but if I only have 2, I have to have a certain voltage to get above the battery voltage. Anyway, we're going to take a couple of these up there and plug them up real quick and just see if it's going to be enough to kick it on, and if it is, then we'll mount it down, and then that way we can at least keep the batteries kind of mostly topped off while we're running small draw stuff like the refrigerator and the lights and everything, because right now we're just having to turn it off and on all the time, which is really annoying. power on. I see wattage. I see wattage. Not a lot of wattage, but it's a little bit of wattage. So now we just got to figure out how to make sure those panels don't blow away for the next couple of days. For the next couple of weeks. I don't know how long it's going to be before we build the roof thing. With that, friends, the mini split is installed, and we even have some temporary solar panels on the roof of this container until we build the full awning. Yes, I know that the solar panels are a little janky. It's very temporary. Don't worry, we're going to do it right very soon. Don't install your solar panels this way. This is a big step because it means the power can stay on in here, the fridge can stay on. No, we don't have water yet. No, we don't have proper solar panels installed yet. We don't have rainwater catchment yet, but we can use 90% of this building and pause a little bit and take a breather and finally start to work on some other projects here. Speaking of, here's what's coming next.